Hey, howdy, folks. Hey, Jimmy the Door here with your What's Up in KWHY country. That's KY. Well, we don't really know why, but anyway. Hey, the big story today was going on over at Wall's Woodshop. You see, things all got started when Dolly Parton married Chapin's carpenter for building Jerry Jeff's Walker out of Lee's Greenwood. Well, the darn Walker was so crooked that Dolly's friend Taylor swiftly sent it over to George to straighten out. But on the way over, it got loose and fell out of Derek's truck onto Highway 101. Well, Taylor called the Beach Boys to see if they could get wings to fly the Walker over to Johnny's in Hartford. And Johnny'd be a good place to get the Walker fixed, but when they landed, well, he wasn't home. But luckily, there were some new kids on the block, and they said they'd take the Walker over to Johnny's later. But their mamas and papas wouldn't let them go out after dark, so they gave the Walker to the James gang. Well, they loaded it up in the van, and they drove off so fast they ran smack dab into Freddie's fender. Well, the gang knew the police would be coming soon, and they needed another car fast. So they used some of Johnny's cash to rent Dirk's Bentley and drove off for Little Big Town. After a bit, they passed by Faye's Hill and came up on a car driving really slow. That's because Tanya was so tuckered out, she was almost asleep at the wheel. Well, the gang started to go around her and had to swerve suddenly to miss Eddie's rabbit. And they bashed right into Kid's Rock. That's when things started getting really weird. A little oil started leaking under the car into Garth's Brook. And then it ran into Muddy's water and finally made it into Rascal's Flats. And it wasn't long before it started showing up in Kitty's wells and finally ended up in Ernest's tubs. Well, that opened up a whole new dimension to the mix. So the gang asked if they could borrow Tennessee's Ernie's Ford and head off for Alabama. And of course, they were running on empty when they finally hit the Florida-Georgia line because Ernie was known for not keeping much gas in his vehicles. Well, they ran into traffic, of course, and they knew they were in dire straits, so they took part of Johnny's paycheck, and feeling kind of big and rich, they decided to pay Ray's price and charter Jefferson's airplane, and took off like riders in the sky. Well, they spent most of the night flying around like Marty's Robins, and finally ended up at Mary Chapin Carpenter's place and gave Jerry Jeff's Walker back. And they told the Carpenters that the whole mishap could have been avoided if they'd have just used Carrie's Underwood for Jerry Jeff's Walker. Well, that's it from K Country. And where the corn's short, the ears are big. And next week, some people ran off with Minnie's pearls, and she asked how to catch them.